from players catching balls with their cheeks
To the offense, right? The hamstring, not the hamstring. It's the word.
to catches so crazy a player broke a world record. These are the 30th crazy catches in NFL history.
Championship game. Well, Reed was going to have it.
And first off is a player who makes a brave catch in the midst of a gangbang. This dude literally caught the ball in the middle of not one or two, but 3 defenders. That's just insane. Well, it's not as insane as number 29, where a player made a catch from a blind spot. Damn! Marty Booker really caught this ball with one hand as it was about to land. But what's more amazing were the defenders who had zero idea where the ball was. Sensational! But as sensational as Booker's catch was, it wasn't anything compared to what DeAndre Hopkins did against the Texans. The touchdown catch of the year. This man really got more than 6 senses, because how on earth did he miss the catch only to dive and catch it? Or did he palm that on purpose just to secure that touchdown? Well, regardless of anything, that was crazy. But no matter how crazy that catch was, it was nothing compared to Julio Jones's catch. A play which looked like it was rehearsed for the cinemas. What? The pass from the quarterback went flying and bounced off the helmet of Hyde. Julio followed the ball for a diving catch, and somehow he still kept his feet in bounds. Nah, man, I can't lie. That was incredible. However, no matter how incredible that catch was, Julio wouldn't rate his catch higher than number 26, where a player caught his own pass. Yeah, you heard me. His own pass. Now, usually Lamar Jackson, as we know, is a quarterback. The guy that throws the ball for other players to make mind-blowing catches. Kind of like this. But on this particular day, Lamar Jackson was on both ends of the ball, catching his own pass. Dude literally caught his own pass. Damn, I thought that was impossible. But something even more impossible is our next catch, where a player uses one skill move to catch the ball and split the defense at the same time for a touchdown. Talk about using one stone to kill 2 birds. This move is so sick, I've gotta watch it again. Wow! Micah Hyde really did a 360 turn catch. I don't care what anyone says, that's what I'm gonna call it. That's one move you only see during team practice sessions or in a gym. Speaking of gyms, as amazing as that turn was, it's nothing compared to our next catch. Johnson literally brought the acrobatics into the field. That's just ice cold. Dude caught the ball, made a front flip, and casually walked off. When you say the word aura, I'm surely gonna show you this clip. But then a friend asked me, what's the aura in that if he didn't score a touchdown? So I decided to take it up a notch as I introduced him to Martavius Bryant. With a superhero kind of move, Bryant catches the ball in a smooth flip and scores a touchdown. Now that's what you call aura with impact. Scoring a touchdown on a flipping move can be crazy, but not as crazy as number 22, where 2 catches happen in the same play. Now that looks like a glitch happening in real time. But still, that catch happened during a regular season game. Brandon Ayuk's catch happened during the playoffs. Okay, watch it closely and thoroughly. It went past Ayuk, through the opponent's hands, bounced off the dude's helmet, and Ayuk dove for it. I don't know what's crazier, the catch or the fact that this man gave all the credit to a bug? So he claims it's luck, a lucky catch. Well, that might be lucky, but there's nothing lucky about our next 10 catches. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. All those catches and we're still in the 20s? Hold on, because it's about to get crazier. Like our next one, where a catch marks a player's name in the NFL history books. Keenan Allen was on the brink of doing something that only NFL legends do. He was about to hit the top 50 for most receiving yards in NFL history. No freaking way! Dude wrote his name into the history books with a spinning one-handed catch. Now that's what Stephen A. would call bonkers. But making history and making his squad win the game is one thing. This is Torrey Smith, and he was in tears before the game because he was dealing with the worst news possible. The day before, his younger brother, Tevin, died in a motorcycle crash. So not only was Torrey devastated, but nobody expected him to be at the game. Until he suited up, just so he could pull off some crazy catches for his brother. Making unbelievable catches and scoring touchdowns was one thing, but what mattered the most to Torrey was seeing his team take home the win. And so as he watched on from the sidelines, one play brought him so much joy in the midst of it all. The joy was overflowing because Torrey knew his brother watched down from heaven and was proud of him. And not only that, but a kind gesture was also made by his team. Oh, that's so emotional. All right, enough for the emotions, because not all catches come from a sad tale. Some do come in a record-setting way. Like this next player, who took things from crazy to extreme. Rob Gronkowski was just an NFL star about to do something legendary. You know, trying to set a world record. But what's crazy is that he needed nearly an entire stadium cleared out to do it. The record? He was aiming to achieve the highest catch in history. 640 feet above him was a helicopter with people throwing down balls for him to catch. After a few failed attempts, Rob kept his nerves calm and he delivered on his goal. Watching a man raise the bar so high, you can't help but be proud of Gronk. Making history is cool and all, but that was after a bunch of attempts. Unlike A.J. Brown's catch in a real game that made fans call it the catch of the year. But let's first see this Cordarrelle Patterson game-winning catch that made many believe in miracles. With the Vikings down and the clock ticking, Cordarrelle Patterson came through with what fans now call the miracle at Michigan. Quarterback Teddy Bridgewater launches a pass that looks just a little out of reach, but Patterson dives, snags it midair, and keeps running. Not only did this catch change the game, it changed the Vikings' season. Patterson's blend of speed and pure determination reminded us why he's one of the most electric players out there. But that catch wasn't as electrifying as this touchdown catch for a comeback. With only seconds left on the clock, Carter does what Carter does best, pulling off one of the most jaw-dropping catches of his entire career. It's a high pass, and Chris Carter reaches out with one hand, pulling the ball down like he's done 1,000 times. He somehow stays in bounds, all while taking on a defender. This catch wasn't just a touchdown, it was a testament to Carter's legacy. He made sure fans knew his name, one unforgettable catch at a time. But one catch they surely wouldn't forget is this catch that was so crazy, it made the refs and the commentators look stupid. Hold up, what does he mean that was close? Rewind the clip. Look really well. Dude's feet were literally in bounds. What do they mean by close? Well, that's how the touchdown was ruled out and canceled until it was challenged, and after some zebra conversations, the right call was finally made. Jake Bobo with an insane catch and touchdown. But that catch wasn't as insane as this catch, where the player had only a 3% chance of scoring a touchdown. Would you look at that? Man was just a shoelace in bounds to score that touchdown. But that's just the camera effect on our eyes after watching it so many times. The touchdown was called no good at first, but after some off-field analysis. But what's even crazier is when the analysis experts dug into their stats. According to their calculation, Sutton's catch had a 3.2% chance of being caught in bounds. But not only that, it made its way to the history books as the least probable play to be completed in NFL history. What a catch! That's surely going to go down as one of the classic tales of the NFL. Now, speaking of classics, we have Dolphins' Jarvis Landry making a circus catch. The Dolphins pull out a classic trick play, and Jarvis Landry is ready. The flea flicker sets him up for a wild catch that leaves the defense scrambling. Landry contorts his body mid-air, catching the ball in a way that looks more like gymnastics than football. This wasn't just any catch. It was the exclamation point on a play that made defenses everywhere take note. Landry showed that when it's time for a big play, he's the guy. For big games, you might want to look past Jarvis Landry and look to Mike, because this next catch has that "I'm him" written all over it. With the game slipping away, Mike Evans takes it upon himself to bring the Bucs back into the fight. And with one massive leap, he does just that. Evans reaches out with both hands, stretching every inch of his frame to pull in the pass right before stepping out of bounds. It's not just a catch, it's a lifeline. Evans puts the Bucs right back in the game with one gravity-defying grab. That's the kind of play that makes fans lose their minds. And do you know what's going to blow your mind? Our top 10 craziest catches in NFL history. Kicking off our top 10 is a moment so wild it feels like something out of a sports movie. The legendary helmet catch by David Tyree during Super Bowl 42. Okay, can we talk about this? Who hit a magnet in Tyree's helmet? In a down-to-the-wire game against the Patriots, Tyree pulled off one of the craziest catches in NFL history. With only 2 minutes left, Eli Manning managed to escape the pocket and launch the ball Tyree's way. Tyree grabbed it with both hands, but a defender swiped at him, knocking his left hand off the ball. But Tyree wasn't done. He somehow pinned the ball to the top of his helmet, even as he was being dragged down, holding on for dear life until he hit the ground. Dubbed the greatest play the Super Bowl has ever produced, this catch didn't just make the highlight reel. It sealed an epic upset win for the Giants and left fans, players, and commentators in absolute disbelief. Tyree proved that sometimes making history isn't just about skill. It's about pure, unstoppable willpower. But for Odell Beckham, his will gave him the power to make a catch that practically broke the internet and redefined what it means to make a grab. Odell Beckham Jr.'s one-handed catch against the Dallas Cowboys in 2014. Absolutely unreal. When asked about it later, Odell played it off like it was the only way he could have caught the ball. Humble, right? Because what we saw was nothing short of football magic. It's Sunday Night Football. The stakes are high, and Odell's double covered. Imagine trying to catch a ball with one hand. It's like trying to eat soup with chopsticks. But Odell, he defies physics and makes it look like a breeze. With his body twisting in midair, he reaches up, snags the ball one-handed, and lands in the end zone as if he does this every day. For Beckham, though, it was just another day at the office. Another impossible catch added to his growing highlight reel. After Odell's jaw-dropping grab, we're stepping into miracle territory with the iconic Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers to Richard Rodgers. With only seconds left on the clock, the Packers trailed Detroit 23-21, but Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't about to go quietly. Standing on his own side of the field, he chucked the ball so far it looked like it was heading for orbit. Seriously, it felt like the ball had its own passport. Then, out of nowhere, Richard Rodgers rose up in the end zone, snatching that ball from the heavens for the game-winning touchdown. Just like that, the Packers flipped the script to a 27-23 comeback victory in the final seconds. This catch wasn't just a highlight, it became a legend, earning the NFL Play of the Year award for 2015, and even snagging the Best Play in North American Sports at the 2016 ESPY Awards. If ever there was a moment that captured the magic of football, this was it. Let's focus on the toe-tapping legend himself, San Antonio Holmes. His Super Bowl winning catch against the Cardinals? That's not just a play, it's a masterclass in body control. I mean, seriously, who needs a spotlight when you can shine on your own like that? As the ball sailed toward him, Holmes extended his arms, leaning so far out he was practically in the stands. With both hands, he snagged the ball while barely keeping the toes of his left foot inches from the sideline. And then, just for good measure, he tapped his right toes down too before tumbling out of bounds. The refs called it a catch, and the replays confirmed it. With just 35 seconds to go, he put the Steelers up 27-23 and clinched their win. Holmes didn't just catch a football, he caught a moment that would live forever in Super Bowl lore. And you gotta wonder, how many backyard sessions did it take to nail that toe tap perfection? Speaking of perfection, here's one play that belongs in the history books. If the catch doesn't ring a bell, then you're missing out on one of the most iconic plays in NFL history, courtesy of Dwight Clark. In the 1981 NFC Championship game, with everything on the line, Clark pulled off a leap that looked more like a flight. Joe Montana launched the ball toward the back right corner of the end zone, and Clark stretched every last inch, catching it with his fingertips to tie the game in a way that almost defied gravity. I'm telling you, he must have had springs in those shoes. This wasn't just a touchdown, it was a game changer. A single moment that sealed the 49ers' place in history and launched them to their first Super Bowl. Even if you aren't a Niners fan, odds are you know the catch. It's pure legend. Alright, here's another one for the books, called the Immaculate Extension by Antonio Brown. This catch was pure willpower, athleticism, and a bit of crazy. It's 2016. The Steelers are facing the Ravens in a heated rivalry game with playoff dreams on the line. With just 9 seconds left on the clock, the Steelers were down 27-24. Ben Roethlisberger finds Brown cutting across the middle, and as he catches it just shy of the goal line, he's immediately hit by 3 defenders, all piling on him. But Brown, he's not going down without a fight. With the game hanging in the balance, he stretches his entire body out over the goal line, still clinching the ball while being tackled, and manages to score the game-winning touchdown. Steelers fans went wild, and honestly, anyone watching couldn't believe what they just saw. It was a moment that proved Brown wasn't just a receiver, he was a force of nature. The Immaculate Extension? Legendary. When we say the word legendary, nothing beats our top 4 catches in NFL history. Make way for the most legendary catches of all time. Kicking off our top 4, we've got the catch that practically wrote the book on iconic plays. Franco Harris's Immaculate Reception. It's 1972, and the Steelers are hanging on by a thread against the Raiders. Just 22 seconds on the clock, down 7-6. Terry Bradshaw lets a pass fly, but it gets deflected. A near disaster. But then, like a hero from the gridiron gods, Franco Harris scoops it up just before it hits the ground and sprints for a touchdown. The crowd goes wild, and the Steelers pull off a 13-7 victory. Luck or skill? Maybe both. But one thing's for sure, this catch wasn't just the Steelers' first playoff win in 25 years. It became a timeless NFL legend. And we're just getting started. Now, moving from historic to game-changing, let's dive into Tracy Porter's Pick 6, the moment that flipped Super Bowl 44 on its head. The Saints are facing off against the Colts. Peyton Manning launches a pass, only for Porter to swoop in, intercept it, and sprint to the end zone as if he's racing for Olympic gold. Saints fans lose their minds as Porter delivers the Pick 6 that seals New Orleans' first ever Super Bowl title. This wasn't just an interception, it was a statement. The ultimate I got this moment that forever etched Porter into NFL lore. From defensive brilliance, we jump into pure grit with the helicopter by John Elway. Now, technically this isn't a catch, but you can't talk about wild NFL moments without this one. Super Bowl 32, Broncos vs. Packers. With the game and his career on the line, Elway takes off, leaping over defenders. He spun around midair, twisting like a chopper blade before crashing down and securing the first down. Elway didn't just make a play, he put his body on the line to win. It's the kind of gutsy move that shows why he's an absolute legend. And trust me, we're saving the best for last. Finally, for the craziest of them all, we have Mario Manningham's sideline catch in Super Bowl 46. The game's on the line, and Manningham pulls off a catch that defies physics. He's stretching out, toes just barely in bounds, somehow maintaining perfect control as he secures the ball along the sideline. It's as if he's balancing on an invisible tightrope, all while cradling a game-deciding pass. That wasn't just a catch. It was a masterclass in precision, focus, and sheer nerve. Manningham's sideline grab didn't just win the Giants a championship. It clinched his spot at the top of our craziest catches in NFL history. This list is scary, right? But it's not as scary as some of the wild things we've seen NFL players do in the game. Click on the link and find out. Things that would blow your mind.